Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. I'd like to welcome each of you to another FranTastic InSights video segment, whereby we introduce you to some very prominent personalities, all of whom are having a very positive impact on the ever-growing world of franchising. My name is David Craghead. I'm the Chief Franchise Expansion Officer for FranServe and also for the Franchise Dictionary magazine. And today I will be your host for this week's FranTastic InSights. I'm not on camera because my camera is flashing at me, but that's to your advantage because I've always been told that I have a good face for radio. So you don't need to see me. You're seeing the most important people on your screen today, and I'm going to introduce them to you. FranServe, by the way, is recognized as the world's largest franchise consulting and expansion organization. Our mission is simple, and that is that we change people's lives in a very positive way through franchise ownership. And we do that through a network of incredible franchise brands in 39 different industry categories. Our growth initiatives are supported by a growing portfolio of franchise consultants. Some people refer to them as brokers, all of whom are dedicated to helping our clients explore franchise opportunities which are deemed to be a perfect match to their individual search criteria. And today I'd like to introduce you to two very prominent individuals. The first being Vize Bhasin, and I really hope I'm pronouncing that last name correctly. We'll just call her Venus. She's representing the brand Wize Computing Academy. She's joined on the call today by Vishal Bhasin. He's also working with her, and they both are co-founders of this concept, headquartered in the state of Texas. Wize Computing Academy is a leader in children's enrichment education and is recognized as a top education for children's products and service franchise. Both Vishal and Venus, as I mentioned, are co-founders of this franchise brand. And for our viewing audience who may be watching this Zoom session on your computer and who would also like to visit this brand's public website, the URL access link is, and I'll spell it for you. I'll say it, then I'll spell it. It's wizeacademy.com. That's W-I-Z-E, Z as in zebra, E-A-C-A-D-E-M-Y.com. That's W-I-Z-E-A-C-A-D-E-M-Y.com. Wize Computing Academy. So Vishal and Venus, thank you for joining us today. As I pass the microphone to you this morning, would you please share with me your business model description and your most recent perspective on Wize Computing Academy?
Sure. Venus, would you like to go first, or would you like for me to start off?
You can give a head start, Vishal.
Certainly. Well, David, thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and pick your brains on business and franchise in general. We are happy to be here. And Wize Computing Academy, just like you mentioned in our introduction, we are in children education space. We're honored to be recognized as a top franchise in our space in the US and Canada. And we focus on overall development, cognitive development of a child. On foundational skills like logical thinking, critical reasoning, team building, self-confidence. We teach coding, robotics, and design to kids age 4 to 18. And while we started here in Texas, we have been franchising since late 2018, early 2019. And we currently have 14 franchise locations and one company location, which Venus heads. We internally call it Franchise Zero.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about how you design your territories, the design metrics and the shape of them. How do you create your individual territories?
Sure thing. So our onboarding process is, we get in touch with a potential franchise owner. They're usually transitioning professionals, educators, veterans, and we work with them on understanding what their location is, what city they're in, what their preferences are. our territories are extremely large. They include area with residents up to 250,000 people. So it can be either a fairly big city or a collection of cities put together. And we usually go by zip code. We take into consideration the demography, the school districts, and all the other things that are important to us. And we work with them on, we start with zip codes and cities, and we create a territory in collaboration with them, which would be something that would be suitable for them. But it's a very large territory, includes people, residents up to 250,000 people.
Okay, thank you. And can you also describe what your brand's expansion plans for the next 2 to 5 years looks like, along with any really hot, desirable territories that you're seeking to fill?
Certainly, certainly. So as I was mentioning, what we are teaching young learners is required by every child in the world. We are fulfilling the gap that exists today in teaching true project-based STEM education. And with that said, we feel that this education should be available to everyone. We are providing a great platform for people who want to own a business and be successful entrepreneurs. And we're based in Texas, but we are looking to grow in anywhere in the US and Canada, and also open to international expansions, given if we find the right partners. So very open from an expansion perspective, primarily based on the fact that we have our franchise locations today fairly spread out in the US and Canada.
Okay. And as our brokers help you fill these territories with qualified clients, how would you describe the perfect franchisee for your brand?
Certainly, yeah. So we are really looking for folks with a growth mindset who have an entrepreneurial spirit. They could be transitioning professionals, educators, veterans. We love veterans given their discipline and work ethic. And so that's what we're looking for a growth mindset, people who want to be successful, want to own a business and really have, be their own bosses. Also, in our business model, we have a successful business model, but we also provide this option of giving back to your community, right? So there's a big aspect of that as well. And we are looking for folks who really want to do that, give back to their community by teaching kids this important skills. And also, really, whenever we start a new franchise location, our leaders, they are hiring folks in their community to run their business, to do the teaching. So we give back in multiple ways, right? We are teaching, we are also providing employment to folks in the community as well. So we're looking at folks who really want to own a business, have a growth mindset, want to give back to the community, and really have a passion for high quality education.
And just to add to what Vishal said, our mission or our goal is to make an impact where kids enjoy building and coding rather than just consuming. So people with like-minded mindset who want to, outside of their education space, they truly want to make an impact to kids and bring them on the side where they see STEM as an opportunity that comes to them at schools, that comes to them at colleges, or maybe the projects at home. So that passion is what we are looking for in our franchisees as well.
Yeah, and another thing to add, David, is we all know how with the rapid advances in technology, the STEM field has just exploded, right? We have more, even with the recent layoffs, there are still more jobs than people in this field. Now, we don't know what the jobs are going to be for our kids, especially the learners that we target, we teach, but we do know that they require these foundational skills that we provide. So our focus is on, just like Veena said, creating students who can actually create as opposed to just consume, and have this really solid foundational skills, both from a soft and hard skill perspective.
Very good. Well, thanks both of you for that very thorough answer. I appreciate that. And to add to that, you've already described what the perfect franchisee looks like. Once you have selected an applicant that we send to you that is a perfect match, what is the typical ramp-up time for one of your franchisees from signing of the franchise agreement to ribbon cutting of their particular academy?
Absolutely. So the way our process works is once we sign, we start the onboarding and training process. So our onboarding and training includes training them on every aspect of running a business, right? Whether it is marketing, sales, support, operations, all those things. So once the training finishes, the training typically takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. A lot of the training happens online, with us, with my team as well. But the 2 days, the tail end of that training program is in person here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And the outcome of that training is they have very well-defined objectives. We use OKRs, objective and key results, to set objectives. They leave here with very well-defined objectives, action plan, and key results for the next 6 to 9 months. So we want to ensure that they have a foundation for successful business. So it really typically takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks for that process to finish. And once they go back, we work on identifying, what businesses, what schools, what preschools, what community centers to target. We do that for them. And then I personally visit them to give on-the-job sales training. So we go visit some potential partners together and make sure that they are confident in really expressing themselves and showing the value that they can add. So it typically takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks for the training to finish, and then another 2 to 4 weeks for them to get going. But we've seen, like recent franchises that we brought on board in the last 6 months, we've seen them up and running, within 2 months. And we've seen them achieving their objectives that we set for them for 6 to 9 months. We've seen them achieve that in much lesser time, in 2 to 4 months.
Very
Just
good.
to add
Go
to
ahead,
what
Venus.
Vishal said, David, I'd just like to add one statement that I feel is one of the differentiator of what Wize Computing Academy offers as a franchisor. We as co-founders, we have our boots on the ground as well. So, as Vishal mentioned, that we have our franchise zero. So having a new franchisee, the biggest roadblock in their mind is, how do I do it? How do my teachers see it? So we give them opportunities where they could shadow, our locations, because, given that we have written the curriculum, they see it directly how the classes are run as well. That gives them a comfort as well, and opportunity to learn and adapt and replicate that at their locations.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good. It seems like your support system and your training is nonstop, ongoing, as it probably should be in the educational arena. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. We are technologists in the education space, and what we are teaching are foundational skills, and that's changing rapidly, especially with artificial intelligence and metaverse and so many things that are happening around us. We need to make sure that we adapt, and we're on the forefront of adapting technology. And the reason we adapt technology is not for the sake of doing it, but really to ensure that we enhance the experience of the child in our classroom. And to make sure we do that, we need to make sure we analyze what's coming, how we can use it in our curriculum, in our approach. And once we pilot that in our franchise with Venus and her team, then we make it available to everybody. And for that, we have training sessions that go on pretty much all the time on various aspects, right? It could be on curriculum, it could be on scalability, it could be on just how you run a successful business with a team, and how do you make sure that the team is achieving their true potential as well.
And then, to add to what Vishal said, it's also the adaptability to keep in sync with the interest of the child. Our programs are focused towards young learners. Their areas of interest could be a moving thing. So we have to adapt to something, and I'll give you an instance of Minecraft was very popular, then came Roblox. So we use those new platforms as well, and we bring in the technology aspect from a learning for a child perspective to the newer platforms as well. So adaptability is the key, where you always keep that newness to entice the interest of the young learners.
Very good. I love your answers. They're so thorough, and the insight's terrific. Thank you for being as detailed as you are. One more question. Are you envisioning or even forecasting any significant changes to your business model over the next 3 to 5 years?
I don't think so. I think from the perspective of how we view ourselves, we have a strong platform where we reduce or eliminate friction to teach this really to provide this high-end project-based STEM education. So it's very hard for folks to find these kind of resources, and even when they find them, they're somewhat fragmented, right? So our approach is provide a strong curriculum, provide a great platform, so that folks who want to teach, it becomes easy for them. The kids who want to learn, it becomes easy for them, right? So we are this platform that's making it easy to provide this high quality education. Now, as far as the growth goes, we are a strong believer in the franchising model, right? So franchising, as you know very well, David, is, you're working for yourself, not by yourself, right? When we bring a new franchise owner on, they're really piggybacking on a successful business model. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. And that's a really good way for them to get started. So we see franchising as a really strong way to grow. In addition to that, we continue to grow in our home market. We continue to expand and create new opportunities for ourselves here. But we see franchising as really, truly a great way for us to grow and for like-minded to benefit from our system as well.
Okay. Down to the last couple questions here. My next question is, what effects, if any, is the current economy having on your franchise?
So going back to last year, it was getting somewhat difficult, and I think it's true across the board, to hire people. We've seen that change since January, so it's become somewhat easier. So we are really finding people that we want. But as far as how the things are going from an economy perspective, how fast the technologies are changing, I think we stand to benefit from that. The reason is, we have a very lean business. We have an asset-light business. Even during COVID, we were able to quickly move from in-person classes to online. It took us a couple of weeks, and we were able to do that. We provided very comprehensive training to all our franchise owners, and they were able to sort of also transition from in-person to online. None of our franchisees closed down during COVID, right? So we were able to adapt to a huge change in life for everybody. And we are seeing effects of that even today. As things are rapidly changing, we're able to adapt using our lean business model. And I think we stand to benefit. I think we've come much stronger out of pandemic. And I feel that that strength we can build on and really potential business owners to partner with us.
And just to what Vishal mentioned, COVID kind of, I would say, in a way, it opened our online platform quite a bit. So we do see that online platform is now, there's a lot of adaptability to the online classes, along with our in-person sessions that we do in after school or at the camps. So which I feel is a positive impact. And I feel, as a parent as well, it's a great way to save your time, because it takes off that commute time from yourself of taking your child to that class. So that has been a really positive impact because, having the school sessions for 7 hours online and still being able to be productive has opened up the parents that, hey, coding is something that you could follow online. And I feel being as an instructor, you actually get a good attention of the child, with the video cameras and everything on, it's one-on-one.
Very good. Thank you. One final question for both of you. If there is one takeaway from this interview today, what would you want our viewers to know about your brand that we may not have yet discussed?
That's a great question. So I would say that, we have a very, our eyes are really, the focus is on the child. We want to make sure that we provide a joyful experience to them. And if they're having fun in our sessions, we can teach them anything. And that's the main core concept that we go with. And we've seen, thankfully, we've seen a lot of success in that. We want to continue that journey. And we want to make sure that, this is available to everyone. Now, it's not just for a small pocket of people, it's for everybody. And we want people from all walks of life to come and learn about what we do and really participate in it.
My biggest takeaway, or something that I would like to share, being a mom and being on the corporate side, I feel Wize Computing Academy really brings a good work-life balance. At the same time, an opportunity for you to give to the community. That to me is a very fulfilling job satisfaction that it brings, other than the monetary benefits where you're not kind of caught up in whole 8 to 10 hours a day. You have more flexibility to work around your family schedules at the same time, but focus on your work as well.
Okay, well, my thanks to both of you. Vishal and Venus, I want to thank you very sincerely for the privilege of your time today. This entire interview will be posted on the FranServe support site. It'll also be archived in the FranServe library, and it'll be uploaded to Instagram, to YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn for the entire community to be able to learn about Wize Computing Academy, and not just our consultants on the inside of the FranServe profile. So we thank you for your time. And with that, we will adjourn today's FranTastic InSights recording. Again, my thanks to both of you.
Thank you so much, David, for having us. We appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye for now.